Afternoon, everyone. Manager Bud Black here. If you have questions for Bud for pregame, raise your hand and we'll get started. We'll start with Danielle.
Hey, buddy. How's Trevor Story feeling after Wednesday?
He's doing better. He's doing fine. He's getting treatment as we speak. We think that Trevor could be in the starting lineup tomorrow. We want to give him an extra day today to come in, get worked on, and feel really good about where he is physically. And we think that's going to be as early as tomorrow back in the starting lineup.
And which leg is it?
It is the left leg.
And you mentioned on Wednesday that it's kind of, he's been battling it for kind of the past month. Is it just sort of middle of the season soreness at this point?
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, I think at this time of year, everybody's a little sore. Trevor just, on that ground ball in the last inning, just overextended himself a little bit and felt a little bit more than what he's felt the last month. So the day off yesterday helped. Day of treatment today will help. But you're right. I think he's been a little sore the last month, but playable. All players at this time of the year, like I mentioned, have a little something going on, but are well enough to play.
Thank you.
We'll go to Tracy. Tracy, go ahead.
Skipper, obviously since he came back up from AAA and started playing regularly at first base, Connor Joe's played really, really well. But is that almost a bit of a surprise considering what he went through last year and how he really had a year where he couldn't do anything, and now to play like he's playing?
It is, a little bit of both, Trace. I think it is surprising because of that, not playing for a whole year, being diagnosed with cancer, having to go through treatments, and never really, playing in the big leagues. And now here he is, a couple of years removed from playing, right? He played in 2019. And here he is with, 150 plus at-bats and really swinging the bat great after not playing a year and having cancer. But I say partially it's not surprising because of who he is and his work ethic, his talent to hit. And even since spring training, he's improved his defense, both in left and at first. But that's a result of hard work and desire to improve defensively. But so not surprising because of who he is. Very surprising because he's doing it in the big leagues with, I think he just had 15 big league at bats going to this year and missing a whole year. So a little bit of both.
Thank you.
Mike Singer.
Hey, buddy. Bard obviously had a tough series against the Cubs and has had a tough August overall. What does the process look like in getting him right and working him through this slump?
I didn't hear who you were commenting about.
Sorry, Daniel Bard.
Oh, Bard, yeah. You're right. He's had since the All-Star break, it's been a little rocky. As a matter of fact, we've talked to Daniel a little bit today about a few things. It's not uncommon for pitchers to go into slumps just like hitters. I think we've talked about Daniel's outings each and every night based on the type of games that he pitches in, the very high leverage games, save opportunities, tied games, close games. Those are tough innings. And there's, you look at every closer, every late inning reliever, there are at times a slump. I don't want to say peaks and valleys because you don't want that out of your closer. But this is a little bit of a downturn for him. I think we really got to get a handle on, the splits between the left-handed batters and the right-handed batters. I think a little bit of that is pitch selection and his pitches and how to attack the hitters. that's going to be addressed a little bit more thoroughly. But, there's no question that the long ball lately has come back to bite him. And that's usually a function of, the ball up in the strike zone, and that can be corrected. So, I mean, there's a wide variety of angles to discuss with Daniel. We've discussed some over the course of the year. But now I think it's maybe time to dig in a little deeper and, get some of his thoughts combined with our thoughts of teaching and some sort of strong recommendations.
You said you met with him today. How receptive was he to the feedback?
Very receptive. And the conversations are still ongoing. We had a little partial, then we had to break for advanced meeting, and he had to go out with the pitchers. So there's still a little bit in progress.
Thank you.
Yes.
Patrick Saunders.
Hey, buddy. Hey, to follow up on Daniel really quickly, we know he's got that electric fastball, a lot of movement. Most of the time it works great. Sometimes the movement hurts him a little bit. But getting back to the splits, is it the slider to lefties that's been beat up a little bit?
Well, it's a combination of both the fastball and the breaking ball, yes. But a lot of the damage has been done on the breaking ball, and it's a good break. It's just the location, and he has a couple different variations of it, different velocities. But again, I think it does center around the slider and a lot of the fastball command.
He's such a self-aware pitcher, given everything, pardon me, he's gone through to get back to being a big league reliever,
Right.
much less a closer. I would imagine, buddy, that's a bonus to work with somebody like Bard, who really knows himself and knows his game and has been through the ringer, so to speak.
It is, he's easy to talk to. He's got very good self-evaluation skills. He's open, good listener, good student, even at his age. He's open for ideas. So you're right. It is very refreshing, and sort of speaks to who he is as a player and a guy.
And one more from me. I saw a report, and I'm sorry, I've forgotten who wrote it, that you guys might go to a 6-man rotation with the September call-ups. Is that a possibility to both give guys opportunity and maybe give guys a little breather?
Yeah, I haven't heard that or read that, but it is a possibility. We talk about that often, but I don't think I've mentioned it. I don't think I have, or maybe I did just in passing as a potential. But yeah, it is a possibility. But we haven't put anything down on paper yet on our schedule that it's going to happen.
Okay, because
we could very easily insert a guy in there that we want to see potentially. I think we'll see what happens with Peter Lambert if he comes through his rehab assignment and where he fits into this, whether he piggybacks with one of our starters or we have an opener, then Peter comes in, or Peter just throws 3 or 4 innings and that's it. Yeah, so we got a few options with Peter, and we also have Chi-Chi down there too as a starter. We need to go to somebody besides the 5 guys that are currently in the rotation.
And what about Ryan Rollison? Or am I getting ahead of the game?
You're getting ahead of yourself a little bit. He's pitching tonight in Albuquerque. He's not on the 40-man roster. We'd have to obviously make a 40-man move there to get him on. And sometimes those spots get a little tricky. But I hope he pitches great tonight. I hope he pitches great 5 days from now, and I hope he pitches great 10 days from now. That gives me a little excitement to see that type of performance. But I'd like to see him pitch well in Albuquerque to really sort of maybe bang the door down up here.
Okay, thanks, buddy.
You got it.
I appreciate it.
Megan Garcia.
Hey, buddy, what do you expect to see out of Kyle Freeland tonight?
Well, Kyle continues to throw like he has been. He's been pretty consistent over the last 6 weeks. Mix of his 4 pitches, down on the strike zone, elevate it when he needs to, fastball both sides of the plate. I think tonight more than anything against this lineup, first pitch strikes, aggressive in the strike zone early, get the Dodgers swinging. I think they're at their best when when they're deeper in the count and taking walks. They like to hit homers, hopefully keep the ball in the park. Those are the things that we talk about with Kyle. And those are the things we talk about in general against the Dodgers.
Thanks, buddy.
Yep.
Kevin Henry.
Hey, buddy, with the next off day being September 13th for you guys, was that emotional win the other night in Chicago, does that have a carryover into this long stretch coming up, or does it matter at all?
I don't think it matters. You always feel better when you win, for sure. It gives you confidence. I think, when you get into, games potentially like that. But, Kevin, I think, tonight centers around Kyle and Kyle keeping this in the game and us, trying to do what we did in Chicago. We scored some runs there. We hit some homers. I thought we had good at-bats. A lot of guys are, in a pretty good spot, and other guys aren't. Right? Other guys, had a tough series in Chicago. So, every day is a new game, a new day. You don't know what's going to happen. But, for me, it starts with the starting pitcher. And hopefully the lineup, we can get some good at-bats against, probably a number of Dodger pitchers tonight.
Thanks, buddy.